are now down to our 7th week doing things at home, and we know that you guys are excited to work on this training for this entire week. And we are lucky to have our brand ambassadors and our elite athletes joining us for the rest of the week. My name is Leo, and this is Challenge for Change. We can always rely on change, good and bad, to happen to us throughout our lives. And while we cannot always control the changes in our lives, we can decide how we are going to react to those changes. But what skills can we learn to help us embrace change so that we emerge as victors, not as victims? Ladies and gentlemen, his name is the brand. His name is a motivation, and his name is simply Francis Jacob.
Salamat. And ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Alam mo, miss na kayo eh. Bakit? Dati we used to meet in big places. Ang pinaka-nami-miss ko talaga yung ingay niyo. Grabe. You guys are very noisy and you know that. Ngayon, yun ang nawawala ngayon. Kaya parang hinahanap ko yung heads-up traffic sa yung ingay niyo. And now we are in a very different environment. So I want to thank you for inviting me. And first of all, I want to thank Buday, and Cherry, Joyce, and Leo, and everybody else for making this event happen. Well, thank God for technology. At least, magkasama pa rin tayo. Before I proceed to my presentation, I just want to make something very, very clear. Ito po yun. I am wearing pants and I am wearing shoes. You should too. Now, I know some people are zooming in their underwear. That's not a very good thing to do. Well, in fact, that's not the new normal. That is called abnormal. And I have a suggestion to make. Even when we are in ECQ or enhanced community quarantine or GCQ na, when we want to do business, I still would want to advise that you wear something less casual, na parang t-shirt and shorts lang. You still wear your work clothes. That way, you can sense and put yourself in a spirit of professionalism, and yung kausap mo, they can sense that you're professional as well. One day, I wandered into my closet, and then I smiled. And I remember the famous line of the classical work, the thing lines na, water, water everywhere, and not a single drop to drink. That is a famous classical line, and that was taken from Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the rhyme of the ancient mariner. When this line came into my mind, when I walked into my closet, I talked to myself and I said, dresses and shirts and suit on my closet and shoes on my shelf, but not a piece to wear because there's no place to go. Maybe you feel the same way too. Iba na yung condition natin, diba? The environment is totally different. Well, I'm sure you feel the same way with this enhanced community lockdown. They want to call it ECQ, so that's a softer way of saying, but it's a lockdown. I never expected at this stage in my life, lockdown pa rin ako. The last time na na-lockdown ako, that was high school, and I was locked down for misbehavior. Ngayon, you, your client, your leaders, ako, everybody is in a lockdown environment. Your designer bags and shoes and jewelries and expensive watches are all sitting in your shelves. Your hair is getting longer. You know that the sales of hair scissors online in America is turning out that they're running out of stocks now. Next, toilet paper, buying panic is no longer uso. Ang uso ngayon, hair coloring. Weddings are now being done via Zoom. 2 days ago, I was supposed to be ninong in one with kasal of my friend, but walang nangyari. It has to be postponed. Dati, you have to say, I do. Now, you have to say, I Zoom. All events cancelled. From weddings, sports events, and even conferences. You know, last November, my daughter, boss, Rachel, and I, we were in New York, and we had a brief time of conversing with Marcus Buckingham and Simon Sinek. And guess what? Kay Simon Sinek pa yan, kay Seth Godin, kay Tony Robbins, kay sino-sino ba yan, Jim Collins, lahat kami, we are unemployed. Not really. Mamaya, itukwento ko. You and I are living in one of the most unprecedented times occurring in world history, and we are taking part. This occasion will be remembered, and the narrative. Paano pa ba isusuma total itong dinadaanan natin? This occasion will be remembered because of the narrative and the stories we form today that can be shared to many generations to come. That's why we are navigating our way through uncharted territory. I love times like this. I love exploring unknown territories. After this moment, pag nag-settle down ako ng konti, we have to remember one thing. This time frame, the calendar, will now be referred to as pre-COVID era or post-COVID era. Yun na yung mangyayari. Most everyone has varying degrees of discomfort about the future. Every person on this side of eternity is fighting a war for personal and economic survival. Kahit na ikaw yung billionaire in dollars na hedge fund manager, kahit na ikaw ay wager, you and I are now fighting in a war. The war against insecurity and against job security and income discrimination. The delicate balance of health versus economy is very dull. As we prevent the virus from spreading through lockdown, there is a corresponding and proportionate deterioration of the economy. So, to say simply, the challenge now is lives versus livelihoods, not exactly. The true challenge is lives versus lives. Bakit? We gotta be students of history. When we turn back and we take a look at the past recessions and the depressions and the economic downturn, there will always be an increase in depression, mental health issues, suicide, domestic violence. That's why it is still lives versus lives. It's not that simple. It's very complicated, but we are now taking part in this situation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new normal. Not really. Mamaya, i-explain. While everybody is saying we are now in the new normal, I will challenge that thought and argue on the point that it's not just the new normal. But if you're going to give me a few minutes, I'm going to explain about it. The lockdown has greatly affected businesses and put it on hold. You guys know, I sit on the board of the company. We have 400 stores for retail. Every single one of them is closed. Kaya almost every day, I'm in touch with business leaders, talking, planning, dissecting, understanding, and then planning and planning and planning and trying to figure out how we're going to deal with the situation. Now, depending on how long this crisis will last, our behaviors as consumers will be impacted to a great degree. Nung hindi pa ho COVID, sinasabi ko na, ang technology hindi kalaban po ng business. No, technology is a tool for business. The threat to business is that technology will change human and consumers' behavior. This is exactly what's happening. COVID-19 changes the consumer's behavior. An unprecedented event as COVID-19, listen to me now, this is important. An unprecedented event such as COVID-19 will bring in unprecedented problems. But an unprecedented event will also bring in unprecedented opportunities. And that's what I want to talk about later. Meanwhile, the crisis puts an entire industry into reset, the economy grinding halt. This reset will have the following effects. Number one, some businesses will reposition themselves and discover other opportunities because after this, there's going to be lesser competition around. Many of my business friends told me right after the 1997 Asian financial crisis, that's the time that they bounced back and they made a lot of money and their businesses grew. Next, some businesses will reinvent themselves and introduce new business models. Next, some businesses will use the opportunity to streamline their operations, remove fluff, and increase their operational efficiencies, lalo-lalo na ito mga malalaking ito. And after many years of hesitation, look at what COVID-19 did. Businesses now are scrambling to do digital transformation. Samantalang nung araw, ang hirap baguhin ng mga minds nila, kailangan ko ito. Others will have to close because they do not have enough resources to continue the business. So they're going to sell their business to people. These are anticipated changes that are happening. In fact, ngayon pa lang may mga negotiations. I'm accustomed to business closures. Naintindihan ko yan. I've had different business closures. I worked with a garment company where I invented the brand in 1985 and then I went out and that industry is closed. I'm a little bit familiar. And that's why today I'm going to talk to you about certain things that I hope you're going to find useful. First, let me start with what you should not do. Ito yung wag na wag mong gagawin. Do not watch or listen or view, and most specifically apply the tips that you're going to be grabbing from left and right webinars that you find, especially ito lahat yung for free. Back and forth. Every single speaker and consultant and trainer I know, they're in a state of panic. They have to let themselves be visible and perhaps out of these free webinars, they're going to be getting additional business. And that's okay. Sana, if those guys are expert and practitioners, but if these guys are just mere pseudo experts as what social media have produced, and you apply the principles, it can be very dangerous. Let me tell you a story. A couple of weeks ago, itong kinikilalang mga experts sa investment na to, ang pinadala ako ng message, baksak na ngayon ang stocks market. Ang baba-baba ngayon. It's so cheap. This is the best time to invest more and buy more. Abang nakinig ako sa kanya, hindi lalo ako nalugi. Because this is not the time to not be cautious. That's what I want you to understand. I was discussing this point with the president and CEO of a company who has 4,000 people. When I brought up this topic, ako siya natawa. Sabi na, Francis, hindi nga naintindihan ng mga yan. May mga speakers pa nagsasabi, you have to be resilient. You have to have grit. Are you crazy? This is the worst time for you to be resilient. This is the worst time for you to have grit. Why? I don't know why. But when this crisis began, marami mga tao naging Chinese. Why? Let me explain. Speakers and writers and webinars begin to say, do you know that the Chinese character for crisis also carries the character opportunity? No. Nice sounding, but if you're Chinese and you take a look at the character, the Chinese are just polite. They'll never tell you it's wrong. Why? I'm Chinese. I ought to know. Chinese characters for danger is wei qi. Wei meaning danger. Qi in that context is moment. It's not qi wei or opportunity. Therefore, wei qi simply means the dangerous moment. Hindi yung dangerous opportunity. But nice sounding. Kaya patawarin na lang natin sila. Lord, forgive them for they don't know what they're saying. This is the time when you need to stabilize your business. Number one, cash conservation. Number two, letting go of fluff. Yung mga ulang kakwenta-kwenta ng mga dadagdag lang ng expenses, this is the best time for you to remove them. Next, reducing expenses, obviously. Next, building up funding. You have to maintain your relationship with the banks. And next, wrap up collections and receivables. These are basics. Okay. Hindi na ito yung you gotta motivate your way through the crisis. No. You have to lead your way through the crisis. And when business settles, do not think resilience or grit. You have to think refresh. You have to think reborn. It's gotta be a bit. Consider other factors. Number one, itong nangyayari to, there's going to be a rise of nationalism. Number two, there's going to be a rise of protectionism. Number three, might be a rise of discrimination. Next, there's going to be a rise of crime. And it will take some time before foreign travel and the hospitality business to regain back its business momentum. Think really well, think really well. This is a challenging thing. Why? No one can forecast the normalization. Everybody's doing the best. No one can even see what the new world will be after. So this is the time that the phone suggestion is saying, number one, you need to stay in touch with your clients. Community. Next, build customer confidence. Waiting for opportunities to come. Next, build up relationships. Not only with your clients, but also your people. Everybody's lost. Everybody's fearful. Do not wait for things to go back to normal and assume that business will be as usual. That's not going to happen. Many of my business friends are exploring other ways too. One, recover business. Number two, reinvent business. Number three, reimagine business. And number four, redesign the way to do business. My son Brian is an early adopter. He has been trained to be uneasy when things are not happening, so he began to use his entrepreneurial mind. Alam mo na yung anak ko, diba? He has a very successful chain of restaurants together with his partner, Shinji, the Japanese guy. It's called Crazy Katsu. Lockdown. Sarado. So what did he do? Ito yung kanyang ginawa. Together with his newly married wife, they were uneasy. So what did they do? They discovered ano kaya ang pangangailangan ng market now. So they came up with this beautiful concept. It is a platform of delivering from the source food direct to your house. You know what these guys are telling me? Dad, we're working about 10 to 12 hours every day. Pagod na kami with all of these orders coming in. He tapped into his supply. He supplies food and fruits he understands. In other words, yung side hustle niya is connected to his core, which is food. This is why his side hustle and gig works. Who knows? This may become a regular new business for him and Matt. Now, here is what he and Max are doing. That's Maxine, the wife, my daughter-in-law. They are taking the time to learn new skills. They are studying. They are productive. They are having fun. They are having the services of my daughter, Boss Rachel, designed that beautiful website for grabe itong daughter ko si Rachel. Punong-puno ng trabaho. At ito naman, they are invading my home space. They want a space of my house here in Mandaluyong to provide the space for the chillers, pagkatapos yung storage for the boxes of deliveries for his driver. And I'm supporting it. I'm happy they're doing it. So let me explain why we are not entering the new normal. Because no one can see or much less set the standards of what normalcy would be. Get a point? Therefore, we are in the process of adjustments, experimentation. Our information is limited. Leaders make decisions based on their very limited information and developments happening on a daily basis. Sina Ma'am Duday, sina Ma'am Cherry, yan, si Sir Leo, si Ma'am Joyce, lahat sila. They will have to take day-to-day developments and then make decisions. And so, this is why we are not entering the new normal. We are entering the next normal. Why? Pag pumasok na tayo dito, and then there's gonna be change again, then there will be one normal after another normal, another normal. Therefore, the normal thing is that there will be many normals. To say the new normal sounds fine, though we are entering next normal. Consider social distancing. That's a new famous term, isn't it? That's gonna change a lot of behavior. Look at these pictures. Tawa ako na tawa. Sabi niya, pati sulok ng bahay, dapat social distancing. Yung iba naman sabi niya, hoy, tuwang-tuwa yung mga talo. Tawa lang tao sa kalsada. Lahat pala nasa bubong. Our government prefers to call it physical distance. I wonder what's going to happen to beso-beso and hugging and kissing and something as basic as human behavior that has developed over the years like shaking our hands is now challenged. Now, it's all right to assume everyone guilty unless proven innocent by testing. That's the truth now. Hindi nga nakakariyan nagsususpekta na may COVID yung kausap mo. Weddings in Australia are limited to 5 people. The couple, 2 witnesses, and a celebrant. And they require the photographer to stand as witness. Pero kung napansin dyan, wala yung mga in-laws. I don't know how they manage that. One FMCG company announces they will temporarily suspend their manufacture of deodorants in order to encourage distancing. Even the Tokyo Olympics have been cancelled. How can you have sports events when everyone should be practicing social distancing? Kaya sabi nila, pati daw yung logo ng Olympics na bago. Yung bagong logo nila, hiwalay na raw yung mga circles. Seemingly overnight through social distancing, yung mga mas protest na yan, nawala. Pati nga yung si Greta Thunberg, siya tinamani ng COVID. Now, let me talk to you about masks. Wearing masks now, that's going to be part of the next normal. So, consider history and the Bible. Spanish flu in 1918 killed 500 million people. We gotta thank God it's not happening with that scale. Alam mo ba nung araw, they have to force people to wear masks at gunpoint. It was built only that way. We should learn from history. We should not repeat it. Wearing masks is the regular practice in Asian countries, but not so much in the Philippines nung araw. Buti na lang mag-list na yung makadami. This is why somebody sent me this poster, tawag ng tawa. When you see the contrast of superheroes of Asia and Japan versus those of the West, ibang klase. Tingnan mo, yung mga superhero daw sa Japan, lahat nakamask. Yung mga superhero sa Amerika, walang mask. Kaya siguro mataas daw ang biktima nila. Hindi, pati Japan ngayon, tumataas din. So you gotta wear mask. Others are still confused. Nung kaumpisa pa ng mask, oh gusto ko yan. Gusto ko yung mask na may collagen. Hindi yun yung mask na yan. Well, it seems that the whole business, the whole country, the economy is strapped with face masks, and it's not a very comfortable experience, but it is part of the next normal. Consider social media and the virus. Dito matatawa kayo. Downloads have dropped about 10% since the start of March. Listeners also dropped roughly 20% in the same time frame. Bakit? Fewer people are commuting. And everyone just watches the news, TV, online, or pati nga yung podcast, medyo naman ng konti. Television viewership has gone up. Netflix, off the charts. They have to reduce their pixels in order to accommodate the many subscribers. Spotify reports that the top US hits got hit by a 28% drop. Bakit? Old songs from Rolling Stones and Bob Dylan and Bob Marley, sila yung umakyat. Bakit? Old songs bringing nostalgia, bringing you to the good times of the past. Baby songs have the highest spike. Bakit? Ang daming mga babies ngayon. Stay home. How do we keep the babies? Not disturbing our work. Consider spirituality in the Bible. Every day is a daily dependence on God. Dati, ayaw. Anything about God and religion, ayaw yung mga, especially in the Western Hemisphere ngayon, everybody's saying our prayers are with you. Yan ang mga next normal na sinasabi ko. Well, let me share with you certain things that I hope you're gonna find useful. The next time somebody says, sorry, nagmamadali ako, may pupuntahan pa ako, ibig sabihin pupunta siya sa kabilang kwarto, huwag kang maniwala. Everybody's gotten used to watching newscasters and broadcasters support inside their houses, diba? Kaya I plan to do something different. I'm standing. I don't want to just sit down and look on the screen. Hair is getting longer. Don't forget, the 1980s and year 2020 will be known as the years with the worst kinds of hairstyles. Work from home, remote work. Alam mo kung ano yung ginawa ng COVID-19? The age-old debate whether should we allow our people to work from home or hindi is now moving up again. Tignan mo nga itong poster, tignan mo nga itong picture na to. Pati daw yung pilot ng plane work from home. So let me give you a few ideas as we enter this phase of the next normal. Number one, for you and I to function effectively, take care of your mind. Control your news watching. Don't glue your eyeballs to the news. Why? News are news cycles. They're the same news being delivered by different people and then changing the news delivery in different times. Ang tunay, the development and updates, konti lang naman yan. Pag sinabi nilang breaking news, they just want to catch your attention. If you're not careful, you take a look at the bad news, all the time it's going to creep up in your mind and give you that sense of negativity. You're going to find it very difficult to function well, I tell you. And so, here's another key. It's okay not to feel okay. Everybody is feeling. Nothing to be ashamed of. But we don't allow fear to paralyze us. Which brings me to the second one I'm going to share with you. You got to fill in your time with positive activities. Maintain your routine. Look at this guy. He's still maintaining his routine. Iba lang ang environment. Read good books, watch inspirational movies. Wag na yung mga vampira, tsaka yung mga, ano ba yun, yung mga zombies niya. And then, lalo ka lang matatakot. I start the day with something positive. I start the day with prayer, meditation, and scripture reading because I want to strengthen my inner strength. And then I go and then I balance myself with the rest of the work I have to do. Ito pa stay connected. Stay connected with friends and family through technology. Zoom your friends. Don't hesitate to reach out to your colleagues, your leaders, yung mga mentors nyo. The departments, you have anxiety, talk to them. Or even your HR people or business partners. Keep in touch with your friends and loved ones. Zoom here, Zoom there. Social distancing does not mean social isolation. I'm doing personal mentoring with families with their kids. I'm doing personal mentoring with some of the country managers of multinational corporations. I'm doing a lot of things, but I'm maintaining contact. Routine is the same. The only thing I do now is I do it Alam mo, yung first few days of the lockdown, akala ko this will be my introduction to the life of Ricardo. So the first few days, I go, okay ito ah. But I needed sleep, so I slept and I rested. And I go, there's so much work. And I am, presidential assistant Joey Concepcion was busy. I used to be very difficult at person to invite because of my hectic schedule, and now I'm quite available. Hey, that's 3 weeks ago. He doesn't do my schedule now. So I'm doing a lot of webinars here and there, and every shout outs and so forth and so on keeps me busy, and my work continues. Number 3, best time to catch up with sleep, be healthy, eat right. Don't enter into mindless munching. That's not going to be good. You know, snacks and junk food and groceries have sold out fast. And that's normal. You know why? When people are a little bit on the depression side, they want to put in dopamine, which is not good for you. Sabi nga nitong picture na to, this is what is going to look like the first company meeting after 2 months of quarantine. Hindi na makakalabas sa pintura. Exercise. No, stock up on vitamins. Do I still need to tell you that? You guys know better than that. Build up your immune system. Before the lockdown, I struggled with my weight going from 145 to 147. Now I'm 142, 143. It's the best time, right? My son is doing the cooking. We're eating that. And drink lots of water. Don't get dehydrated. Ito pa, don't forget, get some sun. Look at this one. Somebody says, drink water, sunlight. You're basically a house plant with more complicated emotions. Number 4, continue learning. Find positive articles or readings, but never, never, never stop learning. Perhaps this is one of those times when something you learn or discover will change the entire course of the future. And there are so many webinars, yung mga magagaling na nga, yung mga experience and practitioners, they're now being featured for free. I'm learning like crazy. In fact, I'm learning more now under COVID-19 than the times were before the virus. Who knows? In your learning and reading, you may come across new skills, a new platform, a new way of doing your business that's going to elevate and level up. You're going to look back and say, oh, thank God for those times. I am also happy to know that your group, I will mention na lang, has invited me to do some leadership training online for your members because we don't believe sa mga tigil-sanay. You guys are always so interested in learning and learning more and develop more and learn more and develop more. Hey guys, listen to me. Leadership skills during tough times will no longer be the same as just leadership skills during easy times. That's why we gotta have new learning and new skills now. And number 5, enjoy the presence of your loved ones. Assure them that this too will pass. You need to be strong for them. Why? They need your strength. This is the time when you can figure out, hey, guys, I'm here for you. Make your times of being together fun. Huwag yung puro sabon lang sabon. And just one more thing. Here are some other tips I want to share with you as we now enter the next normals. Number 1, all those years of my teaching people in my practical money management center, you gotta have an emergency fund. Now, people who listen to that advice, they're enjoying it. Not exactly enjoying it, but they're finding life a little bit more bearable and something kind of offer. If you are spending less because of the lockdown, make sure you transfer all those savings into your emergency fund. Review all the apps, subscriptions, services that are charging you little monthly fees that you don't use on a regular basis. Cut off those subscriptions. What about gym membership? How can we go to the gym now? Cut back on non-essential spending. Review all of those items, cost of subscriptions and magazines and streaming services. Oh, if you're not using them, they're wastage on your money. Next, conserve your cash. Cash is king every time there's a crisis. This is not the time for you to be taking unnecessary risk in investments. No, this is the time to be cautious. Stocking up on supplies can help us prepare our homes for the unexpected, but overbuying will stress your food budget. Kaya yung panic buying, that's not a good thing. Don't spend money on unnecessary things. Prioritize your needs over wants. Now, I have something to share with you. If you happen to be part of the elite and you have money to spend, I'll give you something else that's beautiful. Spend your money. Help spur up the economy. Those are the things. Whether it's the things you need, things you want, I don't care. Spend kung may pera ka. Because our economy needs business. Business needs to steer up and spur the economy. Pero kung ikaw naman, you don't belong to that group or 1 million, 2 million a month, it's nothing to you, 5 million. Medyo wag. This is my advice for those who are in the property. And then avoid retail therapy, shopping online. While it may relieve you some of the stress you may be experiencing now, it can lead with credit. So let me know. It's the dependence on God's grace for two things. Protection. Sana families, extended families, will be spared from these vicious vices. And also pray for those who are afflicted, feeling. Another prayer now is a dependence on provisions, that God will put food on my family's dining table, and God will provide food for those who are desperately. I refuse to be born. That's why I have an unfair advantage. I have my Apo with us. And so every single day I see his development, he's growing up, his 7-month-old Apo of mine. It's the joy in the family. You know, the Ilocana, that's my wife, we celebrated her birthday last April, and we use Zoom while my son Brian and Maxine is in another house, and we have fun together. The economy comes to a grinding halt. The balance of maintaining health, sustaining the economy is not the biggest burden to government leaders. Rather than joining the rant and the rave and the ranting of social media, it's not gonna do you good to be so negative all the time. And the virus has forced reluctant companies to go into digital transformation. Yan ang mga magagandang change na nangyayari. That's why it's gonna be next normal after next normal after next. On the more somber note, let me just share with you. This virus has taken a toll on many. Humanity has been brought to the imminence and immediacy of it. As of now, I have 4 friends who have succumbed to the virus. They passed. The virus does not choose whether one has money or power, influence, fame, or skill or talent, and everyone is susceptible. Contrast this to just a few months ago when humanity boasts of technology will rule the world. Medyo yumabang din yung tao. Wala nang paningin sa Diyos. Now, don't waste the crisis. We gotta learn. This is a time of being humble and a time of understanding the more important things in life. It's a yabang persona and everything else. The virus is a cruel killer, very cruel. It doesn't allow you to come close to comfort your loved ones. It doesn't even allow you to come close to mourn for those who have passed. One thing I can assure you is that this virus changes a lot of things. We're entering the next normal. But your leaders, sila Manduday, sila Cherry, and everybody else, in your company, they're working hard because they also care for you. That's why they're having this series, and we're going to listen to other speakers, share with you other ideas as well. Take advantage of that. Masaya. We are all in this together. Listen carefully. Speakers tend to say, we're all in the same boat. Sure, we're all in the same boat. But not everyone has the same story. So this is a time for us to be compassionate. This is a time for us to care. This is the time for us to be patient. This is the time when you sana family listen to me. The we-ness is more important than the me. Everybody's got to be working as one. And when we get together stronger, we will emerge even stronger. I can assure you that. I would like to encourage you with these words before I close. Be strong. We all need each other's strength. Your family needs your strength. Your family needs you to provide them with the hope and the reassurance that they need. This crisis is very real and it's a global state. But there are two things we need to realize. Number one, it's not the end of the world. And number two, this too will pass. We're gonna get through this. I've been through a lot of crisis situations before. But here's what I know. Today, people tend to ask me this question. So, ano ang magiging future? My response has always been consistent. I don't know what the future holds, but I know who holds the future. This is the same person who says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. This is the same person who says, don't worry about the troubles for tomorrow because tomorrow will have troubles enough for its own. And the Father feeds the sparrows, and your life and mine are more valuable than sparrows. Who does he take care of us? We're his children, will never forsake us nor leave us. Well, this is what the next normal will be. Welcome the adventure. Learn. Don't waste the crisis. And become a better person. Thank you for having me with you tonight. Thank you for your time. And I'd love to answer your questions if you want to give me a question. Thank you. Leo, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And we have here actually some questions. First is how do you share your your products without sounding opportunistic? Okay, let me rephrase. Like, how do you share your product without sounding opportunistic? The intention naman po is to offer solution.
Well, uh, I would reframe my presentation by having a week. Whether this is pre-COVID, post-COVID, or this is during COVID, you have to say the same thing. This is to build up our immune system because our health is extremely important. The way not to sound opportunistic is don't say anything about debts and the COVID, then you attach that to the merits of your product. This is not the time to do that. But this is the time to present the feature of building health and immunity, boosting immunity as a very important fact of our life, and specifically facing the future that is uncertain for us.
All right, thank you, sir. Next question. If ever we go back, what is the number one skill we should learn to master while on lockdown, aside from baking and doing TikTok?
The most important skill you need to have is agility. You have to be able to unlearn previous things you have learned. You have to be able to learn new things. And perhaps you may have to relearn certain things. Agility now is the most important thing because I, I don't believe in everything of his, but this time, medyo tumatama itong sabi na the future does not belong to the strong and the bravest and the most courageous, but the future belongs to those who are most adaptable to change. The fluidity, agility, and guess what? Pinagsama-sama mo yung lahat ng mga nakakwento ko. You can put one word there. It's humility. The humility to learn things that would even challenge our age-old concept and then try out the new things.
All right, thank you, sir. And then last question. For all those doing the business part-time, should they evaluate their tenure in their companies or start their own business?
Whether this is COVID time or pre-COVID, the answer is still the same. Technology and Usana has allowed us to do this part-time, and that's beautiful. You know why? Rather than just playing mindless video games or watching porn or doing something else that's unproductive, you are now entering an era wherein you are able to make money out of presenting reputable and respectable good products that people can use that can enhance their health. That's good. Now, if you belong to another company and you're working there, this COVID time now will have to make you reevaluate and reassess. Why? You will now have to understand how is this situation now, the next normal, affecting our existing company. Now, I want to assure you that if you belong to the big ones, it will have some effects, but it will still be stable and strong. But if you happen to be working for smaller businesses, they may not have the resources. The same situation now applies. As you do your side line, which is you, Sana, as you do your side hustle, which is you, Sana, you have to and find out, am I achieving progress? Am I am I learning? Am I growing? Am I growing? Such that maybe this business now will require my full-time attention in growing this even more. So you have to evaluate both your existing employment and what your business is with this app. And then you have to make a decision from there on.
Okay, sir. I know. I know we asked for time, but there are some more questions coming in. But this is going to be just a few. They're asking if you could define time of rest. There are lots of people who have a lot of things to do. How do you force yourself to rest?
Oh, rest. R-E-S-T.
Yes, sir.
Got it, Leo. As I mentioned kanina, you gotta have routine. So, yung routine na yan, just because you're working at home doesn't mean do things. Extreme yan. Some people, because they're doing work from home, they think it's a paid vacation. It's rest all the time. When I feel like working, I'm gonna work. That's gonna destroy your career. That's gonna destroy your business. Others naman, they go to the extreme. They begin working and working and working such that nawala na ngayon ang kanilang boundaries. If they get overwhelmed, they get fatigued also. Now, always remember, habang nagtatrabaho ka, every 90 minutes, you gotta pause, you gotta take a sip of water, you walk around, and then you stretch yourself, and then you go back, and that way you maintain your peak performance. But after work is done, you stop. And your family members should also know. They should know anong time you get on board and start working, anong time you get off board and you spend time with them. And may isang bagay akong nakakalimutan banggitin, Leo. This is so important. You are now experiencing both home and work in the same place at the same time. That will entail a new set of skills also, which I'm presenting in other seminars. Itong pinakamahalaga. Kalimutan mo na lahat ng sinabi ko. Itong pinakamahalaga. Keep staying with them. Love your mother-in-law so that you will have peace and harmony.
I think that's the best thing. That's the best suggestion, sir. Sir, one last. This is the final. What industries do you think would survive in the next normal?
There's going to be a lot of industries that will not only survive, these are going to thrive. Number one, healthcare. Number two, logistics. Number three, anything that has something to do with online productivity that enhances commuting. Because believe me, there's going to be a lot more remote work from here on. Number four, as we go deeper, there's going to be a lot of automation. There's going to be a lot of AI application. And 3D printing could also be one. And that's my alarm telling me the time I go overtime. So, yes.
Okay, so sir, any final words for your design family?
Well, I just want to say that in a sense, I could sense that your products are selling very well. Kasi I don't want anyone or everyone to think that this is being an opportunist of the situation. But suddenly, I don't know if you've noticed this, the awareness of the value of health is at all-time high. Itong bagong option ng documentary, the general quarantine. So, nagbago na. Isa lang ang hindi ko gusto dyan. Yung portion about the senior citizen, ayaw pa rin payagan lumabas. Medyo, I think I would file a protest against the government for that. I feel strong and I feel healthy, but the thing is, health is not just the body. Health is also the mind, the emotions, spiritual, and everything else combined. The Sana family, you guys are one industry wherein you continue to learn and you train and you have learning and you have learning. That's why compared to the other industries, you guys are more prepared. And I'm so happy that you have spent the night to be with me. And I just want to encourage everyone. Two things again. Number one, it's not the end of the world. Number two, this too will pass. And we are going to emerge stronger than ever.
Thank you very much, sir. Again, on behalf of Sana Philippines, maraming salamat po. And we would love to see you again very, very soon.
Yeah. Thank you. See you again.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, before we hit to the end of the training this evening, just a few reminders happening tomorrow. So, we've had Sir Francis today happening tomorrow. At the same time, we'll be having one of our elite athletes for triathlon, our national athlete, Nico Huelgas, talking about discipline and consistency, a major factor. On Thursday, we'll be having another Hisana brand ambassador. We'll be having Jonathan Yabo talking about online selling from home, intermediate tips on digitizing your business. On Friday, we'll be having another Hisana elite athlete for motorsports, Miss Gabby de la Merced, talking about adopting change, focus, and determination. Also happening tomorrow for health and freedom training is this is happening tomorrow as well for health and freedom training at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll be having our corporate pharmacist, Ms. Mariel Carrile, together with Colonel Henry Bumilak, her B director. And you heard it earlier. Maybe you haven't seen this one, but if you want to check this out, if you are a new new premium button pay setter, you want to check this out. If you missed it, then you still have another chance. For more details, you want to check our Facebook page, or you may request for a recording of the training that happened a few hours earlier. Also, our Leadership Summit is extended, and the qualifying period is until June 26, 2020. And this is another reminder for our 2C2P, our GCAS, due to unforeseen circumstances. Oh, I'm so sorry. The GCAS system scheduled on May 2 to May 3 has been moved to May 9 until May 10 instead. So for other details, you might want to check our Facebook page on this. And again, this for our Healthy Foundation Pack, the promo is until May 1, so it's just until this Friday. What you need to do is you want to take this opportunity out. And because we want to serve you best, we want to make sure that all your deliveries reach your doorstep, so you please update your home address and your contact numbers. And lastly, let this be a gentle reminder for our crusade to flatten the curve as our Sana family, we are one with the world. From our elite athletes Philippines, please stay at home. And once again, on behalf of Sana Philippines, maraming salamat po. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat.